So listen, Internet, there's something that you need to know, and that's Rick and Morty that got renewed for like 4 or 5 more seasons, I think. So
wow.
Yeah, they got a lot of shit to handle. Speaking of shit, Morty, where are you at? Sorry.
So mean to that poor kid.
He is. And you know what? I think that's part of the appeal. And that's part of the thing. It's breaking through that outer shell that Rick has and, getting to that inner Rick that is actually very caring of Morty to some degree. I mean, he's not going to go like full caring grandpa, but he'll probably be that one that pat him on the back and just be like, "Did good, Morty. You did good. Just say it."
I don't think we're ever going to see that. I don't know. I could be wrong.
Well, you never know. We could see. Hopefully. All right. So let's see here. We have Rick and Morty, season 2, episode 6. The Ricks must be crazy. So let's start this up and see what we got. Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
It's got giant telepathic spiders, 11 911s, and the best ice cream in the multiverse. Whoa! We're gonna go get some ice cream.
Oh my God. I remember this one now.
Jesus, Morty, you can't just add a sci-fi word to a car word and hope it means something. Huh, looks like something's wrong with the microverse battery. We're gonna have to go inside. Go inside what? The battery, Morty.
Summer safe.
Extreme.
That was my daughter's pediatrician.
No, stop! Don't kill him! Confirmed.
Oh God, I can't feel my
Oh
legs.
gosh.
Help.
Jesus.
Summer is safe.
I don't feel safe.
Confirmed.
No.
Oh God, help me, please, you can help me.
That was my daughter's pediatrician. Well, now he's sushi. Jesus. So, this episode gets pretty weird, let's say.
Sitting around making your power for you? That's slavery. It's society. They work for each other, Morty. They pay each other. They buy houses. They get married and make children that replace them when they get too old to make power. That just sounds like slavery with extra steps. Ooh la la. Someone's gonna get laid in college.
It appears we are being revisited by the alien known as Rick.
I would love to see it.
You!
What did you say to me?
You told me it means much obliged.
Oh, right. Blow me.
No. Blow me.
Whoa.
Zee, didn't you say time goes more slowly in the miniverse relative to the real world?
Yes, Chris. Thanks for reminding me of that. Great president. All right, let's go.
So they're going inside of a miniverse
Hold
that's
on a
inside of this
I
microverse.
put an unbounded vacuum inside a temporal field until a world developed.
I gotta tell you, Z, with no disrespect, I really think what you're doing here is unethical. It's not cool. What? You got the people on this world slaving away, making your power? I mean, that's what I call slavery.
No. They work
Wow.
for each
I
other
know,
in
right?
exchange for money, which they then...
Well, that just sounds like slavery with extra steps.
Eek, Barba Durkle. Somebody's gonna get laid in college.
Brick? I know. Eek, Barba Turkle.
Confirm custom defense protocol. Keep Summer safe. No physical force.
Yes.
Processing. Psychological option detected.
Oh.
Gestating.
Gestating?
Come out with your hands up, or we will be forced to open fire.
Incoming! Got a device! Bomb!
Daddy?
Oh my God. Hunter?
Daddy? What the hell?
Jesus Christ, cease fire! Stay back! Hunter?
Daddy?
Hunter! Oh my dear sweet God, Hunter! Oh my boy, I'm sorry. It was all my fault. I'm sorry.
Daddy, leave the car alone.
What?
Leave the car alone.
Oh.
Oh my God.
Stay here, Hunter! No! God, no! Hunter!
All of you have loved ones. All can be returned. All can be taken away. Please step away from the vehicle.
God dang.
Keep Summer safe.
And And if you continue to turn your flubel cranks, I will bring you other great alien advancements.
Hey,
This is slavery. You're talking about creating a planet of slaves.
told you, Zeep.
Oh, they won't be slaves. They'll work for each other and pay each other money.
That just sounds like slavery with extra steps.
What?
Wait a minute. Did you create my universe? Is my universe a miniverse?
Microverse!
Teenyverse.
Ugh! You bastard!
Much obliged.
What the hell is happening?
This is healthy, trust me. You're my battery, mother. That's all you are. I made you. Your microverse sucks.
Where my father died. And where I couldn't make time for his funeral because I was working on my universe.
Yeah, science, huh? Ain't it a thing? You know, one time Rick accidentally shot his laser pistol right through my hand. You know, I mean, like, old lady science. You know, she's a real. You gotta hang on tight, you know, because she bucks pretty hard. Oh boy, what? Oh my God, no!
Well,
Teenyverse.
Wait, so now they're stuck?
Come on, come on,
Yep.
come on.
Not keep summer being, like, totally stoked about, like, the general vibe and stuff. That's you. That's how you talk.
a 3-eyed deer.
Hey, that's my deer!
Now, going back to basics.
I hope your god is as big a dick as you.
Holy shit, Morty! I haven't seen you in months. You're leading the tree people? Huh, that's a step up. We have no leaders. We follow only the will of the forest.
Uh-oh.
It works!
I mean,
That's good.
generally people, when you buy things, you expect them to work, right?
It's a 3D printer. I think maybe he had some expectations. All right. Well, that was fun. For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, that's a live stream that I'm going to link right there. So feel free to go there whenever you want to. Your choice.
Sure, I just need to go grab my wallet from inside my ship.
Oh, is your wallet in your ship? That's where the transporter is too, so why don't we come with?
It's cool. I'll be back in a sec.
You know
Yeah.
how long a second can take in a microverse? Oh! Run, Morty! That asshole's willing to risk everything he cares about just to defeat me! He's psychotic!
You should know, Rick, right?
Morty, hop on my back! Why? Go, Sanchez ski shoes!
Is it Mr. Gadget?
Wow.
Morty, you gotta turn into a car! What? A long time ago, I implanted you with a subdermal chip that could call upon dormant nanobots in your bloodstream to restructure your anatomy and turn you into a car! Oh my God! Concentrate, Morty!
Is he turbo?
Concentrate,
Or is
turn
he
into a
like-
car,
oh, it's-
Morty. Never mind,
what's
here's
it?
a taxi. Get in, it's fine.
What's the name of that? That's the name of that stupid show. Kid Turbo? No.
Hey, Z, Happy Rick's kidding, bitch! We did it, Morty!
Happy
Now
Rick's
let's get out
giving.
of here and destroy this whole universe.
Excuse me?
Don't go saying that around willy-nilly, bud.
Sir. Rick! Don't do it. You quit school, but you still got some learning to do.
Is this gonna be like the fight at the end of Lethal Weapon?
I think it's, except, yeah, it's by two people who actually don't know how to really fight.
Class dismissed. What are you doing, Rick? I'm pretty sure the battery's dead. Oh, you think so, huh, Morty? Well, let's see. Hey, wait. Huh? I don't get it. Of course you don't. But Zeep did. He knew that once I got back to my car, one of two things was gonna happen. I was gonna have to toss a broken battery, or the battery wouldn't be broken.
Peace among worlds, Rick.
Jesus. Yeah. Listen
Well, there's
to
a
that baby
supervillain in
purr.
the making
You were
right
right,
there.
Morty. We really just needed to be honest with those guys. All right, here we go. Think.
Because if it's possible for
See,
them
Morty,
to
this is
get
what it's
out with
all
primitive
about. This is why we
technology,
do what we do.
who's to say Zeke
Ew, what
can't do the
hell?
same
Jesus,
thing?
there's flies in my ice cream.
Presidential decree. All ice cream is now for all beings, no matter how many legs.
What the f did you do, Summer?
It was your ship! Your stupid ship did
Don't
it!
blame my
It
ship.
melted
My
a
ship doesn't
child!
do anything
I
unless it's
killed it
told to do
itself.
something.
We
I don't even want
almost-
to hear it, Summer. Your boobs are all hanging about, and you ruined ice cream with your boobs out. And don't try to deny it.
Wow.
That's some pretty dark stuff, huh?
It's crazy.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, God. I remember when I first saw this episode, I was just like, what if that was really the case with us? And, like, one day we're going to get an alien visitor. I mean, we've already got, like, the miracles of technology. You know, we've got electricity, we've got all these things. And if we have had an alien, you know, come and give us that technology, it's already happened. And we just don't know about it yet.
I'm pretty sure it won't be quite as on the nose as this.
No, I don't think so either. But the whole theory about our universe being something that, for instance, a physicist at one point said that every atom potentially contains an entirely different universe. Like, that's how they say, well, and then there's the whole thing about string theory, string theory at the base of everything, what make the energy that makes up all of existence, this keyboard, this phone, your shoes, your hair, these mic stands, everything. At their core, they are just strings of energy. That's what string theory is. That's what string theory proposes. And honestly, it's interesting stuff. It's really interesting, and actually, I could see why people actually go insane trying to figure out the secrets of string theory and if it's actually true. Because when Einstein proposed string theory, he came up with they call it the perfect equation, because he calculated that how time dilation works as well. In which, what they did was they synced up two watches.
Yeah, with the jets.
Yeah, with the jets. And they flew the jets around the Earth, and lo and behold, the ones that was on the jets were ahead. And Einstein's string theory equation, everything that they have come up with so far in terms of how string theory works, they're trying to keep it within Einstein's model, but they're not sure 100% if Einstein's model is 100% is 100% viable with our current understanding of matter and our current understanding of energy and everything. And it's strange. It's really strange how it all is. It's sort of like a Pandora's box with a question. You ask one question, you answer it, and then all of a sudden 1,000 other questions are asked, because if you figured out this one thing, well, what caused this and what caused that? And that's why they consider that kind of like the God paradigm. Like for instance, the paradigm shifts of science. The theory of evolution, the theory of the theory of gravity, or the law of gravity, and then general relativity, everything else. The drastic leaps forward. We actually had this conversation with Nick. Our knowledge that we have versus the knowledge that's fully out there. And if you could make a size comparison, it'd be like my fingernail to what we know to this house in terms of the entire knowledge that's out there. And people actually thought I was saying, oh, we should just give up and stop moving forward in terms of scientific progression. I'm like, no, I never said that. People are assuming I'm saying that because I'm saying we're never going to fully know everything. I'm like, dude, there are things out there I will never know. Like, for instance, I'll never know how a synthesizer fully works, because honestly, it's just there, and I play it whenever I feel like. I don't have to know how it works. But everything that is functioning in everyday life is it's just a huge modicum of questions and responses, and whether those responses ring true or not. Because at one point, we had the law of gravity, which everyone said, oh, it's a law of gravity, therefore it's unbreakable, it's not malleable at all. And then relativity came along, and all of a sudden everyone's just like, well, the law of gravity actually seems pretty, full of holes at this point. And they're and for the longest time they've considered throwing the law of gravity out.
Dependent upon mass.
Well, yeah. Mass occupancy, because whenever mass occupies a certain amount of space, like for instance, think of the whole argument of steel and feathers. Like a kilogram of steel versus a kilogram of feathers.
Right.
A kilogram of feathers is going to take up a lot of space, but its mass is not as much as, say, that same amount of steel that would take up that same amount of space as that kilogram of feathers. Now, space and mass are like it. Once you start going into those equations, it's just like there's a reason why I studied general relativity and I studied all these things, but after a certain amount of time, I about lost my mind. I was just like, holy crap. How do I make sense of all this? I mean, did you ever take any classes like that or anything like that? Or
I mean, I took biology and chemistry and stuff, but that doesn't...
About physics or anything like that?
Nope, too much math.
That's fine. Well, when I did calculus, it was just, which is the devil's math.
I hated calculus.
I hated it too. I passed, though. I got a B. But when I got into physics, all the equations that I was given in calculus started actually equaling out in some ways. Like, in my head, I was just like, oh, so this does this does that, and oh, okay, that's cool. But over time, as I've not kept in practice with it, I've actually forgotten some of the equations. My mind's been occupied by other things. It's weird how your mind does that. It's just like sometimes you have something in your head that you just can't get rid of. And then all of a sudden there's stuff that you're supposed to commit to memory, but it eventually fades away. That's just like when I was a kid, I had an imaginary friend. I can't remember his name. I can't even remember what he did or anything like that. What?
I didn't really know that was actually a thing. I seen it in movies. I never knew anybody that had an imaginary friend.
Yeah, dude. A lot of kids do that to cope with stress. And my parents argued a lot when I was a kid. So outside of video games, which we only had a limited few, and I didn't have access to a computer until I was like, I don't know, 8, 10 years old. From like age 4 to age 6, I had an imaginary friend, but I can't remember his name, and I can't remember anything about him outside of I had an imaginary friend. It's weird how that works.
His name was Morty.
No. It was probably something stupid. Like I don't know, like Crumbopulous Michael. Here I go killing again.
Mr. Poopy Butthole.
No. I'm just joking. But, okay. Oh, we got the extra scene to watch. Yeah, I can hear you down below. Oh, you didn't watch the extra scene? Here it is. Hold on. It was real.
Okay.
That's a disappointed car.
Okay.
It's a good show.
Well, there you go.
Wow.
Okay, so that was that was Rick and Morty, season 2, episode 6. Oh gosh. So the whole thing about the multiverse, multiverses and everything, microverse inside of a microverse inside of a microverse and all that. That's actually a pretty scary concept, because a lot like the Matrix in some ways. It's just like everything's a simulation. It's like he made it, so effectively he is like the god of that universe. Like the concept of God creating the universe and everything, and it's just like it has some it's some pretty surreal stuff. I mean, to you, what do you take away from this episode? Outside of Rick is still a cruel bastard.
I mean, that's pretty much all I got. I mean, I don't know that is this supposed to teach us any lessons, or I mean,
not really. I mean, honestly, people take stuff away from these episodes, and they're just like, "Wow, I never really thought of that," or I'm just like, "Wow," or maybe a joke that really got them, or something like that. Like them going back to using primitive technology and like crank operated like wood mechs.
Well, honestly, the most telling thing about this is that Rick, every time he encountered someone that was just like him, he absolutely hated the person's guts and couldn't stand to be around them.
Well, yeah, that's been proved, as it's been shown with the other when he encounters the other Ricks, from the Sanctum of Ricks, he hates all of them because I think Morty. I think Morty realizes that Rick actually is in a loop of kind of self-hate, maybe. So I think maybe he just realizes that Rick hates himself more than he hates anything else, because I think maybe, well, as Bird Person said, I am in great pain. Wubba lubba dub dub means I am in great pain.
Sure.
And I think that's what Rick. I think Rick is in pain, and I think the reason why is something that we haven't seen yet. And I think maybe it's because he did something or something happened that he could have stopped, and he hates himself most, and that's why he is a horrendous alcoholic.
I mean, he did just kind of smash an entire universe in this episode. Didn't feel too bad about it, so
yeah,
must be something pretty bad.
Must be
pretty personal.
Must be. Oh God! All right, well, it's late.
Yep.
Yeah, we got to head out. So thank you all so much for tuning in, and I guess until next time, signing off. I'm Nate,
Micah,
and we will see you later, everyone. Peace out.